gonna do it, can count on that dog pound. Dude. So, hey man, so what about that Edward Norton guy? He's pretty good.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like what my favorite role of his is, and I don't know, man. Like he is great, but I feel like a lot of the movies that he does, like for me, he's not just in. I don't know how to say this. He's great, but he's not in my top five
Are you talking about of all time?
of just actors. I think, and also like in this time period, like the
Yeah.
Brad Pitts, the Ed Nortons, like that generation of actors. He's
Um,
not up there for me. The George Clooney's. I feel like these guys are all like in the same class. John Turturro, people like that came out like late 80s, early 90s, got like hot. And I don't know, like I love 25th Hour. I love the movie we're going to talk about now. I liked him as Bruce Banner in Hulk. Like I like everything he does, but I was like thinking on it's like all them. I'm not like clamoring to watch an Edward Norton movie. Like my favorite one is Death to Smoochie, and it's not because of him.
I mean, it was a good movie though.
It is a good movie, and he's a great actor, dude. But I mean, we can talk about it because it's kind of part of um the movie that we're going to talk about later. But I feel like when you get him, you kind of get like this headache where he thinks he knows better than all that, like whoever's making the movie. He's always like in rewrites and stuff, which is cool in a way, but it seems like that's always a problem too. And I think you kind of see that sometimes.
But he was also in The People versus Larry Flint. Great movie.
Again, that's a snooze fest, though, Steve. It's not as exciting as you want it. The what it's about, the subject matter, great. Woody Harrelson, fantastic. He does a great Larry Flynn impression. But Edward Norton is just a stiff in it. He's a lawyer, Steve. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what about The Italian Job?
It's more of a Mark Wahlberg vehicle. I feel like that's an ensemble cast. So when you think an Italian Job, I don't think you're going necessarily for that. He was in that movie, The Score, with De Niro. That was like a heist movie. I don't know if you remember that one.
The
I think we
Score?
actually talked about that on the show at some point. But that's a pretty decent flick. But again, De Niro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, The Dictator. He was in that Sacha Baron Cohen movie. That definitely
I didn't
doesn't
know
count.
that. I didn't know that. But no, dude, I don't know. I always play devil's advocate on the show. I feel like, and I say why I don't like the guy, but that's the legit truth. Like, of everybody in his like generation, maybe he's the most technically sound and like
Like,
the most like great artistic or whatever. But I just feel like the movies he's made, like, they're great uh technically, and they have like a great story, and they're overall great. But like a lot of them, like even the 25th Hour, dude. That's a great movie, but it's long and it's boring at times. You know what I mean? Like there's and I feel like all of them are like that in some way.
what about? I'm really trying to sell this man on you. Uh,
Sell them. I mean, please, Steve, prove me wrong.
Birdman.
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 Is that the Michael Keaton Oscar award snooze
Yeah.
fest?
Wow.
And it also, like, I don't want to say that because it's Michael Keaton, but he was the reason I even wanted to watch that movie. I didn't go to it going like, "Damn, Ed Norton's in this shit." Yeah.
Well, what about when he was Sammy Bagel Jr. in Sausage Fest or Sausage Party?
There
Sausage
you
Fest.
go. That's his coup de grace right there.
That's
I'll
it.
give you that one, Steve. You turned me.
Yeah.
Sausage Fest. Is that the animated movie that Seth Rogen made?
Yeah. That was
Where
great.
Paul's just going giant douche.
Yeah, I loved it, man.
It was
But
funny.
so like you're talking about class, like if this was high school, you're saying like, if Edward Norton was like a sophomore, Brad Pitt would be like a junior, senior kind of deal. Like, because
I
I
would
don't
just
think
say like they're in the same class, like they're in the same year. Ed Norton's in like the art classes, like he's like the hot art kid, and like Brad Pitt's like the one that everybody wants to watch and hang out with.
but Brad Pitt goes back to Thelma and Louise, and I don't
Let's
remember
see.
it.
When was Primal Fear? I mean, that's the first movie I think he ever did. So that's probably early 90s, I think. That's
96.
so there you go. He's definitely like older than or younger in the game than Brad Pitt. But for some reason, I just always like lock all those people together. I'm
I
trying
would
to think
probably
of like great Ed Norton flicks. I feel like I named them all. And I
you
feel like
did.
American History X is honestly like, if we're talking about stuff that we remember, that's the one,
That's the one.
you know? I mean, just the image of him with like when he's getting arrested, where he's looking insane with the swastika tattoo on his chest.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the fucking dictionary picture that they put in when you think about this movie, basically. What
And
a
I was gonna
what a
have that.
dumb sentence I just said. That was a stupid sentence, but anyways, Steve.
Like I was gonna have that as one of my backgrounds, but then I thought about it again. It's like, yeah, I don't want to get the wrong idea across, but
Maybe go up like just right where his face starts. You can't include the chest. I feel like you might even not even they would just take it down. I don't know if
yeah,
you show Nazi shit, but well, it's a new day, Steve. There's a lot of Nazis out there right now, so maybe they're cool with that. And we just can't show SNL clips.
or Quantum Leap. Yeah,
or a 5 seconds of a wrestling show from the 90s. Like, yeah, that's not great. But um yeah, man, like Ed, if you're listening, and I really don't think you are, you're probably in like Sandro Pay or something on a yacht rewriting a movie that you got hired to do as an actor. Um you're great, man. You're freaking awesome. You're huge in the 90s, and you got to play, you got into Marvel. And it's one of the few guys who is so artistic that he got into a Marvel movie and they let him tinker around with it. They were like, all right, you can go ahead and do something on this one because, you're Ed Norton, basically. So there's something to say about that. But yeah, Ed Norton, great actor, possibly a problem behind the scenes, Steve.
I did not know that, but nonetheless, Eddie, you're a G, and shout out to my Jewish homies. But
Mazel tov, guys. What's up?
uh,
Shalom.
this This is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your magic school bus and your incubus, because it's a shame the way you mess around with my heart. It's a shame the way you hurt me. It's a shame the way you mess around with my heart. It's a shame the way you hurt me.
If anybody on the chat can name who actually that song is, I'll pay you $5.
It was originally done by the Spinner, so bring me my money.
Damn it, Steve! I'm not paying you shit.
Well, hey, I tried. But today, my friend, we're talking all things October 30th in the 90s. Starting off in 1990, Moni Love would release Down to Earth, and this is the one with It's a Shame.
This is the song, Steve. When you put it on here, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even know this was a musical artist. I was like, Moni Love, is this a movie? Never heard of it. Then I looked it up. Come to find out that I remember that one song. Didn't remember any of the other songs. Also, didn't know that particular artist or that song came from a UK artist, Steve.
Yeah, man, British rapper.
Okay, was that Arnold? Did our British rapper?
Yeah, I don't know. My British
British rap. I'm British. I'm a British rapper. That's how they talk, Steve. It's weird. I gotta
It's
be
not the
honest.
best. But I always go to the one impression you did on that episode where you're like, can I trouble you for a biscuit? I do, I does.
That's pretty good, Steve. See?
But yeah, man, two-time Grammy Award nominee. And I feel like she's kind of done a hiatus. She did some albums like Down to Earth in 90, and then she did this In a Word or Two in 1993. And that
Yeah,
was
like
really
I
it.
said, I don't remember this artist's name ever. I don't remember hearing this. I remember hearing the song for sure. And the song's a banger. It's a shame. It's fun.
Yeah, man. And she's cute. But also in 1990, Big Daddy came to release Taste of Chocolate.
Mm.
And yeah, man, another pioneer.
The song with Barry White, Steve. It's fantastic.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
banger.
That's my favorite one on the whole shit.
Yeah, that it's a banger. There's a couple like pretty decent songs. This is like very like obviously like early '90s rap. You know who Big Daddy Kane always reminded me of?
Who's that?
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Oh wow.
Like the way
Um,
they rap, it just it's always it sounds kind of similar. But
okay, I can see
shout out
what you
to Sir
mean.
Mix-a-Lot. But Big Daddy Kane, dude, Kane, the man is a pimp, obviously, and the bear, like I said, listen to the Barry White song and just tell me that this dude isn't a pimp. That's all I gotta say.
Cause I can do it right. That's another one of my faves. And he also did a song with Rudy Dolomite Ray Moore
Yeah,
called Big Daddy versus Dolomite. And anytime Dolomite speaks, man, I'm all ears.
there was one other song near the beginning of this. Man, I'm trying to think. I think it's Dance with the Devil, possibly.
Dance with the
Yeah,
Devil.
it's a good album. I'm gonna be honest. I have not listened to this before we talk, like put it on the list, but I always like dug Big Daddy Kane's style. It's just a rap. It's not really before our time, but right when we were too young to really know what good was, I guess.
And yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like a lot of the guys that you did like when you started listening, like they were influenced by Big Daddy Kane. So shout out to another OG. That following year, 1991, Seinfeld would release Seinfeld air season 3, episode 6, The Parking Garage. The four lose their car in a parking garage, imperiling Elaine's new goldfish, George's night out with his parents, and Jerry's painfully full bladder. Oh my God.
Great episode. I never have seen this episode, Steve. This is the first.
Really?
I've never seen this one.
You know what? We need to have a spinoff of Matt reactions. I think that would be great if we saw you in real time. Cause like something like that, this is considered one of the ones that like before they catapulted, kind of led them in that direction. But
I could definitely see why. This has all the makings of a fantastic, and they're not. We get none of the usual, um, the diner, the apartment. We get none of that. It's just them in a parking garage. It's fantastic. It's so simple.
this, I think that it might be the only one like this where you don't go to Jerry's apartment or any of that.
I know they, obviously they're in a network. They could have built a set. I wonder where they shot this. I was sitting there watching it, like, man, where the fuck did they? Was this on like a movie set, or did they
It
just
was
shoot it in
on.
a parking garage? Because it just is. It literally is just that. They changed a couple of signs, but everything looks the same, which is apropos for the episode, obviously.
Yeah, I think it was actually on a set. They had to clear out Jerry's apartment and make space, if I'm not mistaken. But we start off at the mall. They're all going downstairs, and oh no! I'm sorry. We started it off with Jerry on stage doing this comedy act, and he's like, "You can't just go to a store in the mall. It's an upright map."
Yeah, you can't find anything. You get lost when you're looking at that little map. That's not 3D. You're walking around. So in his joke, I think he says something about putting suction cups on your shoes so you can stand on the map and kind of be like, "Oh, okay, I'm here. It's over here." It's one of those jokes, Steve.
You
Throws a
have an
couple of
easier
suction
time.
cup sound effects. But as a pothead, this is 100% up my alley. The parking garage and getting lost in a mall, Steve. It happens to me every time I go to someplace with one of these things.
Yeah,
In
I
fact,
hate.
when you came here, this happened to me. We left the parking garage. I thought I knew where I was. We got lost in some Macy's hell for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
And now we go to the mall, and they're all going downstairs to get to the parking garage. And Kramer, he got an AC. I think that was the purpose of the whole trip.
Yeah.
And
He's the only
like,
one that got one, though, Steve. cheap AC day, but Kramer's, and to be honest, looking at the box, this might be a return, Steve. That thing's looking raggedy.
Yeah, the box isn't even fully closed, and they're having a hard time finding the car. We find out that it's currently 5 o'clock p.m., and that's right in the smack dab of traffic, like
Yeah.
rush hour.
Which doesn't work also for anybody. Uh, Somebody brings up like, yeah, but it's a time when everybody's trying to go in the city or out of whatever it is. And Jerry's like, that doesn't exist. People are going in and out of the city. Everything's fucked. Everything's, traffic's bad no matter which way we're going. And then George adds to the stress because he has a hard out. He's got to get home so he can pick up his mom and dad. It's their anniversary. And he's kind of like chauffeuring them around town, I guess, as a good son.
Yeah.
So everybody's in a rush except Kramer, obviously. He's got nowhere to be, Steve.
And a hot lady walks by, hot little redhead chick, and Jerry's trying to like get George to holler at her. He's like, "Man, what? I got no chance, man. What am I supposed to do with that? You know what I'm saying?
What are you doing to me, man?
Man, put me on the spot.
Coming to hang out with my mom and dad on a Saturday. It's ginger hottie."
Yeah.
Very dejected. And also Elaine, she didn't get an AC, but she got this like carnival style goldfish in a plastic bag, Steve. I don't know why you bought that at a mall. I don't know where you bought that at a mall, but she's just worried about this fish constantly. Should it be living in the bag? Is it dying? Is it going to die in 20 minutes? How much time does she have? So everybody, this is not a good situation when you're lost in parking lot hell, Steve, because they're doing, and I think Jerry has a joke about that. He's like, if something's fucked when the guy you're following, you don't know where you're going. The guy you're following, he stops, he looks back like, hey, nothing good's gonna happen after that. You're lost.
And the fish, they could only last for 2 hours, but they're looking everywhere, still can't find that car. And somebody mentions that, like, I remember it being by the elevator. Well, dude, everywhere there's an elevator.
Then Jerry's bladder starts pinging. He's got to piss. So now there's more stress. They just keep adding on to it. They're looking around. They keep rounding corners. Kramer's got this big box. He's struggling. Finally, he says, I'm putting this fucking thing down. I'm going to put this over here right beside that. He just puts it beside a car. And he can't remember where his car is, but he's going to remember where this AC is.
And he also tells Jerry, dude, just go behind one of these cars. Like, there's no point in holding it. You got to go. And so Jerry's just like, all right, man, like, it could damage my intestines. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to just wait. I think I'm good. He doesn't go quite yet. Elaine's looking around, and she basically is like, well, maybe somebody will help us, like, drive us around. Maybe somebody will take us and like help us find the car. So she starts trying to flag people down. She's being a bitch about it, but nobody's helping her, Steven. This is real. I wouldn't help her. I'd be like, you know what? I got somewhere to be. I don't know. Get loose with the excuses.
But before we get to that, like the crew, they see this lady just roughing up her kid, like rushing her up to the car, and George, he steps in and he's like, look, I don't think that's necessary. You shouldn't be doing all that. She's like, look, this is my kid. What business of it is yours? And he's like, well, when it comes to kids, it kind of is my business.
Yeah,
and
you're striking your kid in public. Like, I think it's all of our businesses. So she's like, shut up, and just gets in the car and then go for it. Sorry.
But the kid calls him ugly. And George is like, no, you're ugly. Well, no, that's what you think. That's what I know.
I mean, kids, like, this is soul crushing, Steve. Kids can be evil, and this kid's one of them. And I recognize this kid from something.
Yeah.
He's one of those like 90s stable kids that they throw. He's like, he was not, I don't know if he's ever sassy, but he's just one of the whites.
One of the whites.
One of the whites. But he gets in the car. George is left stunned. He's like, what? You believe this?
Adam Wiley. And he was in Picket Fences.
Okay, oh, but he's got to. There's got to be more than just picket fences. But Adam or whatever your name is, nice.
He looks
Nice.
like Freddy Krueger now.
Oh,
Robert England, this the second
Junior. Maybe it is. Maybe it's Robert's, bastard son.
from Dream Warriors.
Yeah. But so Elaine's doing that. George is getting his soul crushed by a kid and his mother. They still can't find this car. Kramer's just chilling. Jerry has to piss. And finally all the pushing from Kramer, Jerry's like, fine, dude, fine, I gotta go. And honestly, Steve, I'm somebody who maybe I'm getting older, I have to piss a lot. I've done this and I have no problem with it. So I agree with Kramer in this one aspect. Just piss, you know?
Jerry finally gives in. He's like, well, fuck it. So he goes to take a piss. He turns around. A cop was staring at him the whole time. So we cut to the police office, I guess, or the security office. And he's trying to cop a plea saying, like, I've had this condition since I was 12. Doctor told me I needed to go or I'll die.
He's got uromycetitis or something, Steve.
Yeah.
You don't know, Officer Jerkoff. I'm gonna die if I don't pee, and that's on everything. I got a presidential pardon to urinate wherever the hell I want to. Unfortunately, my brother took it.
Yeah. So I don't have it on me.
So I don't got that necessarily. I don't have the actual document. He's probably pissing all over the place with that thing because Lord knows it's like a key to the city, Steve. But this is a hard ass parking garage rent-a-cop. This is a guy too old for this shit, it appears, Steve.
No nonsense.
And with all the excuses, it's not working. George and Elaine, I think, is George with Elaine right now, or are they?
He's with Kramer.
Okay, go for it.
Well, that's what I was trying to remember because at some point I think George asked Kramer, like, how does that not bother you? Something is bothering somebody. Well, we could skip past that part because, all right, George, he says, like, meanwhile, I'm with you in a parking garage. And then we cut back to Jerry. And again, he's coming up with excuses. Like, I could have been pouring a bottle of water. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was,
I had a bottle of tepid water, and I can see where there would be some confusion here because me pouring a bottle of water out with my back to you sounds a lot like me peeing. So, you know what? I get it. And you know what? You don't even have to apologize to me. I'm just going to head out. This guy won't let him go, Steve. Meanwhile, we cut back to George and Kramer, and everything's been going on so long. Now George has to piss.
Oh, but like before that, man, we got Elaine and she runs into this black guy and he's like, look, me and my friends, we can't find our car. So if you could just like drive us around the garage and like help us find it. He's like, no, I can't do it. Oh,
you can or you won't.
I just don't want to do it. Yeah. So you're okay with just leaving us here? That's right.
Yep. Absolutely. See, that's the attitude I would have, Steve. That's the modern day attitude.
I don't know you.
I don't give a fuck. Or you might kill me. I don't know.
Yeah. In 2 seconds.
This is a fucking New Jersey parking garage. I don't know. I have no idea where you're from.
And then back in the office, Jerry's just like, look, man, I played with your intelligence. I just want to apologize. I obviously humiliated you, but look, my parents are celebrating their 47th anniversary and we're supposed to be meeting for a little, you know what I'm saying? And my father, he's been in a Chinese prison for like the last 13 years.
So he's throwing out kid lies, Steve, and these are of the outlandish nature. We're like, where did that even come from?
Yeah, just a little sprinkle of
CNN. I love how he throws in those details though, because when he first says, he's like, "Listen, man, Mercy Street here. It's my parents' 50th. Let me. I don't want to get ahead of myself. 47th wedding anniversary. You know, that's what you got to do, Steve. I watched enough body cam videos of bad criminals to know you got to throw in a couple of unnecessary details. Nothing too crazy. Maybe not. My father was in Red China prison, but you know. something.
Yeah, man. And now we cut to George, who's with Kramer, and George has to go now. This is why Kramer's not a good friend. He's that friend that will lead you down a dark path in a dark room that will get set ablaze. He's just like, look, dude, why don't you just go? Like, what's with you and Jerry, man? Y'all love sticking to rules. Fuck rules. They were made to be broken. Why don't you just piss behind the car? So George is like, all right, man, I'll go relieve myself. And then as he does that, again, Kramer just walks by. He's supposed to be the lookout, and he just walks away. And before George even like pulls his thing out to piss,
Who is a security guard?
he's
Does he
right
have
there.
like his nose when a dick's about to come out?
It's like a Batman signal. He's just like a penis. Just like flashing in
I
the-
smell dick. I'll be right back.
I smell.
And also this fucking parking garage, and this is true of all parking garages, because there's always little like weird alcoves that you can like hide in. But for God's sake, this guy's going like into the darkest corner, and he's just standing there. He's not even being like, "Yo, stop!" He's watching him go. So clearly, this guy's got some kind of sick fetish going.
That dick I smell.
You need to drink some more water, sir. Oh, Jesus!
Yo, and then so he brings George into the office, and George is like, "Look, man, my parents are celebrating their 47th anniversary.
Right?
Yeah, and your father's in a red Chinese prison."
He's like, "What? Your family's doing that too?" And he looks over, and Jerry's in there and waves. So they're both screwed. Like, what kind of cop is this, Steve? He can smell dicks. There's some kind of public urination ticket that you can get in a parking garage now.
It's a felony.
Oh, I guess so. But damn, New Jersey does not screw around with public urination.
Well, I mean, depending on how you like look at it, it could be seen as public exposure. Especially if a kid walks by. Indecent exposure, I guess.
Wow. Okay. Well, you're really getting litigious with it. I'm just saying, hey, this guy's trying to flex a little too much. He's a New Jersey parking garage attendant. Chill out.
Hey,
Tell
man.
me you never went back there and pissed, old man. That's what I would be saying the whole time. But anyway, Jerry and George are walking away with some kind of a fine. Elaine's can't get a ride to save her life. Kramer's by himself. And George knew this was going to happen. I love how the whole time he's like looking at his watch, like this is it. This is it. It's over with. I'm going to be. My parents are going to hate me. I'm a bad son. So I mean, I don't know, like in real time where we're at, Steve, but to me, that ship has already sailed.
Pretty much, man. And
You know?
George and Jerry, they're finally out of the office. They go downstairs, and George can't help but overlook. He just can't overlook this Mercedes that's double parked, and I'd be pissed.
Oh hell yeah! Especially when you can't find your car. Like, look at this fucking guy taking up all this shit, and he's like, "Look, Jerry, look at this fucking idiot. I'm gonna spit on it." And I do like Jerry in this. He's that guy. This is kind of the Jordan aspect where he's like, you know what? I'd love to see that. You know, he's just pushing, he's egging you on a little bit. So Jerry's cool with it. And George does the Ace Ventura, gets a nice loogie up. And right when he's about to spit, this suave looking black dude comes by and he's just like, "Oh, nice Mercedes. German engineering, am I right?"
Yeah, man. Tell me where you got that from. And Elaine, she shows up, and Jerry says, like, "Yeah, man, we just got arrested for urinating." And now this time Elaine asks some bodybuilders, and they're just ignoring her. It's like, "Well, yeah, you little punks. Why don't you just go work on your pecs and lats, gym bros?"
We're really impressed. And they turn around, but George is like, "Come on, man." Like, I got a shout out to the blonde one because I thought it was the guy from American Gladiators that was the surfer gladiator for a second.
Me too.
Could have been. Maybe we got on the gear and then really popped off. But yeah, so now we got 3 people together. No car, no Kramer. George knew this was going to happen. So they're standing there, and all of a sudden, that hot ginger, Steve, that hot redhead, walks by again, and Jerry's like, "George, you wanted a reason to talk to her. This whole parking thing, go up." And George is like, "You know what? That actually is a reason to talk to her."
There's
You're
your
right.
open.
So he walks up to her, and before he even says much, she's like, "Yeah, I'll drive you around." Hell yeah, she's very cool, Steve. And she seems really into George. She's like, "Ooh, I'm whatever," and he's like, "George,
Yeah,
so."
I'm George, and the very next scene, she kicks them out because apparently she's a Scientologist, and George might have said something about L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, they're a sensitive bunch, Steve. So she's not cool with that. Love this early nod to Scientology. I didn't know how far it went back, but Seinfeld getting a couple digs in on L. Ron Hubbard. I always love that.
Early in the game.
So they're out the ride. But turns out, Steve, they look to their right. There's a car. It's
There's the
right
car.
here. There's that dirty ass, gross ass car, and they're like, "Well, of course, Kramer's not here. Fuck."
Yeah.
So we watched the clocks, that like sort of clocky montage thing. Cut to later. George is just basically asleep on Kramer's dirty ass car. Kramer finally arrives with his box that has an AC in it, I guess. And George is like, "What the hell?" And he's, Kramer's like, "Man, I could have used you. I couldn't remember where I left the box." So he's taking a long time finding that. He gets there, they're all together, and he's like, "Look, George, it's fine. Like, I don't know why you're stressing so much. When's your mom and dad's thing?" And it's like in 15 minutes. So he's like, "Oh, that's going to be a problem."
And Elaine, where's your bag? Oh, yeah. Never mind. But they get in the car, but the car won't start now.
Classic Kramer. Wham, wham. So they're stuck, Steve. But this, I got to give it to him. I haven't been disappointed on any of these episodes, Steve. And I hadn't. If this is a classic, shame on me, because this is a fantastic episode.
And then we end this with another Seinfeld bit where he's like, "The problem with Mall Garage, everything looks the same. I know they try to differentiate it, different numbers, different colors, but why don't they get specific and just name them? Like, your mother's a whore. My dad's an abusive alcoholic."
I'd remember that, Steve. He's got a point.
Yeah. Is Seinfeld moving up your list the more we watch this?
Absolutely. I mean, I knew it was a great show, but just like having visibility of all the episodes, I was just never a regular watcher. So, especially seeing these early ones and seeing like, I know what the final product was. It's cool to see like that evolution a little bit. This is definitely like quintessential, like all of the character relationships are there. I think this is just sort of a standout to me in terms of like it's not in the usual Seinfeld shit. You don't even see like the city or anything. It's just the parking garage, which is hilarious.
Yeah, man. This is considered one of their classics. But a couple years later, 1994, Simpsons is airing season 6, episode 6, Treehouse of Horror 5. The family's job at Mr. Burns' country estate goes awry when Homer goes mad. Homer's attempt to repair a toaster results in inadvertent time travel, and the school staff turns cannibalistic.
You want to talk about classic episodes, Steve?
Yeah.
Treehouse of Horror. We're five seasons deep on that, but man, all of these I definitely remember, and this is definitely a class. I mean, how many classic Simpsons episodes are there? It's like you shouldn't even really say that, but yeah, this is a great one, and I love how it starts too.
And this is one of the great things, one of the many great things about the 90s. We see this in its genesis. And just like that, like I look at this like Homer Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. Like both of those things started in the 90s and they continued all throughout. Like the Treehouse of Horror is still going on, obviously, because the Simpsons, and then Undertaker, that streak went on until like the 2020s. But
Yeah.
no, it went into the 2010s because he eventually lost. But yeah, man, all started in the 90s. The 90s.
90s. Yeah, and I love how this starts off. We get like the Simpsons opening, but Halloweenified. All the names are like Matt Groening. They even go that far on it. And then we open with Marge just on a stage, like at the high school, basically. And she's like, "This is such a scary episode. Congress is not going to let us air it. It's too scary. So instead of that, we're going to be airing, what'd she call it? 200 miles to something.
To Oregon.
Yeah. And so they start showing like this black and white Oregon Trail looking movie, and then all of a sudden the feed gets cut, and we just see this black screen with like audio information on it.
Yeah.
And Bart hacked the system, Steve. He's like,
And
fuck all that.
nice little Twilight Zone reference. I always appreciate that. That's my show. And the first vignette is the shinning.
The Shinnin.
The shinning, and like the family's in a car and they're on their way to the estate, and it's Tuesday, and home or Marge asks Homer, did you remember to lock the door? No.
Yeah. Then it's Wednesday, Steve, and they, long trip, second long trip, but we made it. Wait, when you locked the front door, did you remember to lock the back door?
No.
What was the last one though? What?
Oh, well, now it's Thursday, and I think Bart asked, like, didn't we leave Grandpa at the gas station? but then he just keeps going.
Wait, are we gonna get Grandpa? They're pissed, but yeah. So they're taking care of Mr. Burns' estate in the mountains. So this is a Shining ripoff. They're in the mountains. I love Mr. Burns in this too. He's how his little like. Apparently, he's had some issues. The family before them, the guy went nuts and killed his family, Shining style, and it might be for a reason, Steve.
Yeah. And this is something funny about Burns. He never remembers who Homer is. Like, this man's been working for your company for years, and every time he comes into his presence, he's like, "Who is this man, Smithers?"
A lot of people. See, he was an important person. So they're getting the lay of the land. Bart sees groundskeeper Willie, like, because groundskeeper Willie's there taking care of like the shrub maze. Bart cuts through it with like a leaf cutter. And then I think Willie says something in his head, and Bart's like, "What's haggis?" It's something related to haggis. And Willie's like, you heard my thoughts. You got the shinnin'. And Bart's like, "Wait, you mean The Shining? You want to get sued?"
Yeah. Because he could hear groundskeeper Willie saying something about, if your dad goes gaga, you need to do this.
Yeah. He's got the shinnin', Steve. Meanwhile, Mr. Burns is like showing them around. And as they're leaving, you see them loading up all the beer. And I think Smithers cuts the cable. And so Homer's got no beer and no cable. And Smithers is like, Mr. Burns, maybe this is why the guy went crazy last year. And Mr. Burns is like, well, here's the deal. If we come back and this guy killed his family, I owe you a nickel or something. I owe you a sandwich. Something stupid.
And then when Homer realizes this, the beer's gone, no cable TV. He's like, I'll kill you all.
But at first he starts, he's like, no beer. All right. Just check out. It's on the tube. Oh, fuck. Yeah. So they're worried, but he's like, you know what? I can handle this. He leaves, leaving the family to themselves. And then we see him, I think, just like in The Shining at the bar, right?
Yeah.
And there's a ghost Mo who's the bartender, and they're doing the Shining thing. And Mo's like, look, man, like, if you kill your family, I'll give you a beer right now. And Homer's like, why do I have to kill my family? It's like, look, man, the ghouls and stuff, that's just what we want. So you do that, you get a beer. And that's really all Homer needs, Steve.
And then we cut to Marge, and she sees Homer's typewriter. She walks up to it, and the paper just says, feeling fine. But after she sees that, like, a bunch of messages pop up on the wall. Like, if I don't get beer, I'll kill all my family and all that kind of shit.
No TV and no beer make Homer go crazy. And then when she sees that, she's like, well, that's not great. And then Homer shows up, and he's like, hey, Marge, maybe they're going to make a movie about this. It'll be called No TV and No Beer Make Homer something. He's so stupid he couldn't even remember it. So yeah, he goes full on crazy. I mean, he's like, he goes speaking tongues crazy, Steve, for a beer, for a goddamn beer, Steve.
Now he's cutting through doors and walls. He does the famous "Here's Johnny," and no one's there. And then he cuts through another door. It's David Letterman, and it's his
It's his
dad
dad.
Abe. Yeah, it's like,
Hey,
oh shit.
Mr. Letterman. And what was the last one?
I think that was the only one. Like, here's Johnny, and then here's David Letterman.
No, he says something when he goes into the Marge one. I keep asking you questions we don't have answers for. I apologize. So he finally finds Marge, cuts through the door, and how does he get knocked out, Steve?
Well, they alert groundskeeper Willie, like
That's
the
what it is.
yeah, Bart uses the shinning to alert him, and but Homer kills groundskeeper Willie when he makes it. And now Lisa, she gives Homer a portable TV, and that kind of like sedates him. And then it gets to the point where like Homer, he's calm, he's serene, and then they all embrace. And they just stand there, embrace so long to the point where they turn into icicles.
Yeah. It's like the ending of The Shining. And I like how when he gets the TV, he's like, urge to kill, lessening,
Yeah.
growing, lessening. But whenever I think something like the Tonys come on the TV when they're frozen, he's like, urge to kill coming back.
Yeah. I trying to watch that.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I know any, well, that I know of that will watch that. But the next vignette is Time and Punishment. And we see Homer at the table with his family, and he's like, I'm a really lucky guy. And then we see his hands in the toaster.
Unplugged, but buzzing with electricity. He gets it off, and he's like, man, that was crazy. And then Bart's like, wait, it's back on your hand, and it's back. So he slams it again. And he destroys his toaster, Steve. That's the impetus of this skit. And then he goes and fixes it. But he adds a couple of he adds some like tool time modifications to it where the insides are looking a little futuristic, Steve. But all's well that ends well, I guess. And he throws a piece of toast in the toaster to test it out. And he's figured out time travel, Steve. The toast goes in and he goes back to prehistoric times. That's got to be pretty freaky.
Yeah. And I also like the Sherman and Mr. Peabody reference.
Hell yeah, dude. Quiet, you. I always wanted to name my dog Mr. Peabody. What was that from? That was Rocky and Bullwinkle, right?
Rocky and Bullwinkle, one of my faves, man. And now he's in the prehistoric times. He sees the dinosaurs and he remembers what his dad told him. If you see anything back in time, don't touch anything. It could change the whole trajectory of life.
Yeah, something like that. And I like that was his father's wedding night advice, you know? So he remembers that, but as soon as he has that thought, like this big mosquito starts like buzzing around his head, he's like, stupid mosquito, and he kills it. Anti what he just said, and he's like, no. But then the toast pops up, and that's what sends him back into the future, I guess. And so he comes back to a future that looks kind of cool. It looks pretty much the same, right? But this butterfly effect's a bitch, Steve.
Yeah, because when he goes back into the kitchen, he sees his family, and then all of a sudden the floor turns into a TV. And on the television screen is Ned Flanders. And he's like, dude, why are y'all watching stupid Ned Flanders? And he hears this from the TV screen, and Ned's just like, looks like we got a negative Nelly.
You guys have to go to the Negification Center and get re-Negified. So they're and I think Bart says something about this, and he's like, yeah, Ned Flanders is the ruler of Earth or something. Like, he's the overlord, Steve. This reality, Ned's taken over. It's pretty dystopian because their house gets picked up. They get taken to a Negification Center where they get, like, clockworked orange into watching some video where they're supposed to just smile and laugh. They get out of that. And I think Homer just has to go. So he runs into his house and like goes, he pops the toaster so he can get out of here.
Yeah. Well, before that, the dogs are getting sick on him. So he pulls out those Larry Drakes and he's like, well, this will detract them or whatever. And he just ends up eating them.
the weenies. He has some weenie. I don't even know where those came from, but speaking of sausages, he had a whole just link of it. But he gets back into the past. He gets back into the prehistoric time, and he's like, "Look, I'm not killing anything, right? I'm not touching anything. I got to get back." Um, and then I feel like what happens in this one? Like he kills something else. Like does he
Well,
sneeze on the
no,
dinosaurs?
no, no. So he sees the T-Rex, and the T-Rex comes at him, and I love how he can just walk away from the T-Rex. Oh! So he goes over from the T-Rex, and then right before he gets popped into the future, he sits on a fish that's on land. So he does pop back, and he sees that he's in his home. Then all of a sudden, Lisa and Bart, they open up the ceiling, and they are way bigger than Homer. And basically, we find out that Homer's in a dollhouse.
Yeah. And they are like, "Oh, it's a bug shaped like that. Let's kill it." So
Let's
then
kill
he
him.
goes back into prehistoric times again. So this just leads to him zipping and zapping out. I think the next time he sneezes on a dinosaur, but when he goes back into the future again, um, Simpson's wealthy. He's in a mansion. Patty and Selma dead. He's got a nice car. He's got the kids are like very nice, right? Everything's great. But whenever he's like, he sits down at the table, he's like, "Hey Marge, hand me a donut." Marge is like, what is that?" And he
Well,
realizes there's no donuts and screams and goes back into the past. But as he does that, it starts raining, and their rain in this reality is donuts, Steve. He missed out on the perfect opportunity.
right as he leaves, just like how I left Ohio. Now you want to legalize?
So we go back again. I think at this point he kills everything. He gets pissed off and starts just wailing on stuff. Goes back into the future again, and I think at this point, like Willie shows up and he's like trying to help him,
You
but then
still in my home,
yeah, but then Maggie kills him with an axe.
Lisa?
No, it's Maggie.
It's Maggie. All right.
Yeah, and she pulls the pacifier out of her mouth, and it's James Earl Jones's voice, and she's like, "This is a terrifying reality," or something like that. So he goes back again, Steve. I mean, it's just back and forth here at this point, and Homer's out of options. But on his final trip, and this is where he finally goes, "Screw it, I'm killing everything." He does that, goes back into the future, and he discovers that everything is back to normal, right? It's all good. It's fantastic. Sits down, and right when he's about to eat, there's donuts, there's beer. Marge even is like, "Chill out. Beer's plentiful. Donuts, buy them by the dozen." He sits down. He's like, "Cool. Made it." And then they start eating with like lizard tongues. And Homer's like, "You know what? Fuck it. It's close enough.
Yeah.
That's going to be great in the sack, too."
Yeah, I'm
Maybe.
exhausted. Yeah, she can lick and suck at the same time. And now the final vignette is Nightmare Cafeteria, and Bart wants to run a prank on Miss Crabapple. He's like, "Hey, before she comes in, let's turn our desk backwards." And then she comes in, and he's the only one with his desk backwards.
Come
So
on, guys.
yeah, she sends him to detention, but detention is full. So he has to go to the cafeteria, and it's getting full there too.
Yeah, and as they're sitting there, he's sitting next to that guy Jimbo, who's like the bully that has the skull T-shirt on. And Jimbo's like, "Hey, check this out!" And he trips the lunch lady, and she spills like soup on him or some disgusting slop. Skinner comes over. He's like, "Jimbo, God damn!" And he like somehow tastes the stuff, and he's like, "Oh, got to figure this out." And this leads him down a path where essentially, Steve, when you go to detention, you become the meat, you become the food.
Yeah, meet me in the kitchen, Jimbo. And so he's you can overhear the conversation with Jimbo and Mr. Skinner. And then in the very next scene, the what is it called? The where the teachers convene,
Yeah, like the teacher's lounge.
the teachers lounge, and everyone's eating burgers. It's like, man, these burgers are good. And Mr. Skinner's like, well, you know how I always said I'd make something out of Jimbo? It's like, yeah, well, yeah, let's,
Get it?
yeah, because Miss Krabapa was like, so wait, you killed Jimbo and processed his carcass and served him for lunch?
Hmm? Wink. And then we cut to the caf, and they're eating. They're not. They don't have a problem with this, Steve. They start eating it up.
Doesn't phase him.
They're evil. They're eating Jimbo up. Then we cut to the actual lunchroom, and they're eating sloppy Jimbos. So
Sloppy
they're just
Jimbo.
throwing it out there. These kids, they don't give a shit. So now the teachers we see as this progresses, they're becoming addicted to this.
Yeah.
They're even
But
getting fat off these kids.
and Ooter, he wants extra helpings of some sloppy Jimbo. Skinner walks up to him. He's like, "Ooh, Ooter, you keep eating that sloppy Jimbo, you're going to get fat and soft and tender."
God, go eat a stick of butter.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think Uter, he gets in he realizes Uter's the perfect meal. He's like, wait a second, did you just cut in line? And Uter's like, yeah. Detention. And I think Uter's like, well, how long? And he's like, well, probably about 2 minutes per pound will do it. Yeah. And then the next day, they're eating Uterbraten, Steve. It's German day. It's
Lederhosen.
Oktoberfest at the school, and they're all eating Uterbraten. And now Lisa's like, don't you think it's weird Uter went missing, and now we're all eating Uterbraten?
The kids are scared, so they run up to Marge and they're like, "Look, Mom, they're eating kids at the school. Look, just tell them don't eat me."
Yeah, I can't do. I'm not gonna fight all your battles. You guys are getting old enough. You guys need to figure this out. All right, Marge. Jeez.
Back in class, they're still scared, and I think Millhouse looks up, and Mrs. Krabapa was reading "The Joy of Cooking Millhouse."
And he's like, "Look, guys, I think we're next, so maybe we should get out of here." And everybody agrees. So they sneak out. I think they look into a room, the detention room, and now it's just cages with kids eating like slop and drinking water out of like hamster bottles.
Yeah.
Oh, Skinner's like just kind of messing with their heads, He's in there playing the bad guy.
He's overlooking the produce because he's looking out a window. He's like, "Yeah, I got to keep an eye on my free range children."
He's got free. They're just running around, Steve. They're fenced in. They're about to be free range, whatever.
And
I feel like, what? We went to Perrysburg. We had some shitty teachers, but I don't know. Maybe they would have eaten us, Steve, if they could. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, was it Henline? He tried to eat some minor girls, but I don't like the treatment of groundskeeper Willie throughout this episode.
Yeah.
He deserves better. One of my favorites.
Axe in the back in every sketch.
What's that about?
You just got to, Steve. It's horror time. You got to get an axe in the back. So yeah, Willie, they leave the class. Willie tries to help him. He takes an axe in the back from Skinner. And now they're running. They get pushed like into a room that's basically a giant food processor for kids, Steve. Millhouse falls in, and Bart's like, surely you're not about to kill the Simpson kids, right?
Yeah.
And they get knocked in, but then Bart wakes up because it was all a nightmare, Steve. It's not eating kids. Are you crazy? No, there's no nightmare at all, except for the fog that whenever you smell it, turns you inside out.
Yeah. And then they turn inside out and they end up doing like a Halloween number.
One singular sensation. As they're singing, it's kind of like weird. There's stuff about gore. I like how Santa's little helper just attacks Bart and is trying to eat his insides because they're on the outside.
Yeah.
It's a pretty dark episode, I was watching this with Kendra. She's like, wow, they ate kids. All this stuff on this, like, this is a cartoon, but what a great episode, even with all the cannibalism, right?
And I mean, out of the Treehouse of Horrors that I've seen, this is actually one of the scarier ones. Like, I'm talking about, I might get nightmares from watching this.
Yeah, I mean, my personal favorite one is the one where Lisa starts her own universe on her tooth. I don't know if you
Hmm.
remember that one where they like shrink down and she's like a god because it was some like science experiment that she was doing for school. But
Hmm.
these are memorable, and just having like a Shining spoof and stuff, huge.
Yeah, man. Classic. In that following year, 1995, Ace of Base would release their album, The Bridge. Here we are, man.
And if you were doing cocaine in the mid '90s, you definitely heard one song on this album.
It's a beautiful life. Oh, oh, it's a beautiful life. And here we are, 40 plus, man. I never would have thought. If you told my teenage self, dude, you're going to be an Ace of Base fanatic, I would be like, man, just kill me now. So, but
Yeah.
here, man, like they have some slappers and not just like the popular, like chart topping ones. Like there's a song on here called Edge of Heaven that is so chill.
And this is like house music. This is like electronica type dance hall music. It's not even, I mean, it's not like the most musically whatever. I wouldn't think I like any house music except Prodigy, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I had more once Night at the Roxbury came out, I feel like I was really heavy into Ace of Base again. That's what got me back in. But yeah, one really weird fact that I didn't know about this, Steve, because obviously there's the Ace of Base like platinum hit from the first album, and I suck at music, but you know what the one I'm talking about. So
I
that was
saw the sign.
exactly.
In
So they banged that
the
out, right? There's a little hiatus. There's a couple years in between that and this album. Did you know that one of the chicks from this band was held at like somebody broke into her parents' house and held her and her parents at knife point?
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I never like you would have thought you would have heard that somewhere, like on MTV or something. I never heard that at all. What a weird story. And apparently it's like the concept of one of the songs because I think there's like a dude in it that does most of the writing and music, but I
Yeah.
think like they did half and half, and this lady had that a song about that. So I just thought that was kind of a weird, not fun fact, but crazy fact.
Bizarro fact.
Yeah,
And I mean, it not only the music, but it does help that those two women are hot. They're gorgeous. Like they're sisters. There's a brother in there and the two sisters, and the other guy, I don't think he's related, but yeah, like smoking hotties. The 4 years after, 3 years after that, 1998, American History X premieres. A white supremacist is released from prison, a changed man, and hopes to prevent his younger brother from following in his footsteps. Directed by Tony Kaye, starring Edward Norton, Edward Furlong, Fairuza Balk, Stacy Keach, Elliot Gould, Avery Brooks, Beverly D'Angelo, and Ethan Suplee.
great dark ass movie. Great message. I like when I think about this movie. I mean, it's positive like review, but man, it's a tough watch. You know, there's a lot of racism in it. And I mean, obviously that's the point of the movie, but um, I always dug it. It's got a great message. I mean, but when I found out like all the shit that happened behind the scenes in this, it is kind of crazy what happened. Again, I'm not sure if you're aware of all that.
Apparently, Edward Norton and Edward Furlong did a lot of meddling with the script to the point where Tony Kaye almost quit.
Yeah, I mean, apparently he was like sort of a big name director from doing commercials, but he got this. They filmed it, you know, they did it, got it done, and when it got to the editing room, I don't even think it was Eddie Furlong. I think it was just Edward Norton, is what I read. But there's a lot of like back and forth. Tony Kaye's, you know, he's an artist. He's like a director, so he's an egomaniac. And I think all the meddling, he finally just got sick of it. Wanted his name removed from it. Um, they were going to show it, I think, at the Toronto Film Festival, like, you know, as the premiere, and he was worried that they were going to show Edward Norton's version of the movie because Edward Norton basically went in and re-edited the movie, and changed the tone a little bit. So he did a bunch of promotion to like tell people to not go see it, and he kind of like blackballed himself, to be honest. Like he got a second chance at like later on, but I think the process of this, he got on the bad side of like studios, and But I got to say, with that being said, you don't like to hear that studios were meddling and like it's not the artist's vision who was like making it. But the finished product, I feel like it's still good. And when I hear what the other version was going to be, I don't know if it'd be as satisfying.
And it's crazy to think Tony Kaye wasn't even pleased with Edward Norton's performance. Maybe he was just being petty,
I
but
think that's what it was, dude. I think he was just like, man, fuck this dude.
yeah, because I'm like, dude, are we watching the same movie? Because this is his most iconic, probably. And I also want to mention that Mr. Matthews from Boy Meets World, after watching this the first time, I never looked at that man the same.
Yeah, I mean, he gets his and he gets killed. Like you don't see it, but like, yeah, he's like, yeah, all these freaking black people, sitting at the dinner table. That
Yeah,
whole thing, man. Like, I don't know. This is it's a good showing of how somebody gets like changed into a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, because
yeah.
at that point in the movie, Ed Norton's just like a skinny, like white boy, like, oh hey, and then he comes back after that, and he's like talking to his mom's dating. What's that guy's name? He's a famous dude,
Elliot
Gould,
Gould.
Elliot Gould, and then it gets into like crazy anti-Semitic shit, and it's
Yeah,
like, yeah. Um, and I mean, everybody, the famous curb stomping scene,
yeah,
it's just so insane to watch. And apparently, like just a behind the scenes on that, like obviously it was a dummy that they shot like the wide on. But
right.
I guess like everybody after that was done, like it was very realistic, and everybody was like, this was fucked up. Like even Edward Norton and everybody that watched it. So it's powerful stuff, man. Like everybody does a great job, dude. Ethan Suplee's a great, crazy lunatic racist.
Yeah.
Obviously, Stacy Keach, who looks like a racist, just naturally plays a great racist. Steve.
He does, and I'm guessing the Feruza Balk, she did a great job at playing like a feminine racist, a
Oh yeah,
female
she's
racist.
like the chick from The Craft. She's
And
she's Waterboy's
I
girlfriend.
was just gonna say Bobby Boucher's girl, but yeah, man. I want to mention Guy Tori. Like it took a certain level of charisma for him to pull that off because he's basically being the black guy that can turn the tide for Edward Norton's character. So it's got to be convincing to the point where it's like he is trying to get through to him in a way and make him like rethink his whole perspective on race relations and all that. So shout out to Guy Tori in that he held it down.
Yeah,
He,
oh yeah.
you don't see him in too much of anything else, but yeah, for this man, he did his thing. My one critique about this movie that really bothered me is when Edward Furlong, he's killed in the end, but throughout this movie, he doesn't, even though he's racist, he doesn't really do anything to the black kid that would warrant him coming into the bathroom and shooting him in high school. Like, I get like like fuck a racist. I'm not copping police for no racist in any way. But I'm just saying, like throughout that movie, they could have done more with that kid and Edward Furlong to make it seem like, okay, I've had enough. Here you go, racist kid. Like it's just
Honestly, like in my head now, because you're right, it's a rat because there really is no interaction. I think there's like some argument
in
but
the
I don't.
beginning.
Yeah, and it's not anything crazy. I don't. But I always think I assumed like somehow everybody knew that Eddie Furlong's older brother was this crazy racist that did that insane like murder. So like he's just on like the list to get got. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it is a crazy ending, a dramatic ending. And what I found interesting was that Tony Kaye's version, instead of Edward Norton's character, his name's like something Vineyard or it's a weird name, but like he was gonna actually become a racist again. He was gonna get radicalized back to being a racist. And that's what I said. It was like it's already dark enough where he's just holding his dead brother's body in his hands. That would have been a crazy ending. I mean, I love a dark ending, but damn, what a crazy like alternate ending to think about.
And shout out to Beverly D'Angelo. She's always been gorgeous to me, man. She's one of those like white ladies I feel like that stood the test of time. Because even in this movie, I thought she was pretty good looking. And I mean, of course, back in the National Lampoon days, she was
Oh
smoking.
my god, dude. Even in this, she's just like a booze bag, you know. She's just like kind of like a white trash wife, just smoking cigarettes and getting sauced up. So, you know, I've seen a lot of pornos that start off that way too, Steve. So,
I wouldn't kick her out of bed.
yeah.
And fellow Ohioan, born and raised in Columbus, the C
Oh
bus.
hell yeah, dude!
Yeah,
Beverly D'Angelo's from the C bus.
yeah.
Damn, I might have to go. Was Beverly back in town ever? Bev.
Girl, won't you
Oh,
call me?
you in town?
But any callbacks for this week, Matt?
We've been talking about it. It's a '90s movie, so fuck it, Steve. Guys, Jackie Brown. We need to have like a full episode just about this movie, but just bringing it up, the soundtrack, Steve. There's a lot of great movie soundtracks from the '90s. Right off the bat, Above the Rim comes to mind with with Nate Dogg and Warren G. But
Judgment Night.
when you listen to damn Deep Cover also is a great one. Friday. I mean, it's just over and over again. But man, Jackie Brown, dude, Quentin Tarantino. I don't know if he picked all the songs or who did or what, but man, that if you want some good soul music, that's a banger. That might be one of the best soundtracks of all time. So just shout out, Steve. Jackie Brown. I'm gonna go on the record every time I can and just try to sell this movie to the world because it just doesn't get enough respect.
Like, I think my only shout out is in 1997, Seinfeld is airing The Junk Mail, and this has a cameo from Wilford Brimley and Diabetes. But the main arc of this episode is Elaine is smitten by this guy who she thinks his smile is just perfection, and the guy is played by Toby Huss, aka Artie, the strongest man in the world,
Hell
aka
yeah.
the voice of, I think, Cotton Hill, or he's the voice of like two characters on King of the Hill. But come to find out, the only reason she's smitten by his smile is because he used to be the king of mattresses on this local TV ad back in the day. And then so she just, I think she like has like a Mandela effect, or I guess, because it's in the back of her mind. It's like, man, it's something about his smile that I really like. And I think it's Jerry that comes across that idea. Because either George or Jerry sees it, it's like, dude, isn't that the mattress king?
She wants to bang a celebrity, Steve. Why not?
But that's all I got. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister she's a ugly asshole. Oh, she's a ugly asshole. Check out Food Show Fanatics as well as Crushgasm every Wednesday with Kendra G, our guy Clark the Shark on Podcastle, and Wrestling with Ronzilla on TikTok. This is Steve G and Matt G with
Happened in the '90s. Oh yeah. Tell them. Dude, the ad libs that Barry White throws into that